Being a new rider can be overwhelming. Being a human being can be overwhelming. Being crushed under the weight of our existence, forced to reconcile our own mortality on a daily basis. What does it all mean? But as a new rider, it's even more challenging. You have to juggle balance, control, and remembering to cancel your turn signal. Yeah, still happens to the best of us, me included. All while praying to God in heaven you do not drop your bike in front of the coffee shop where your girlfriend's boyfriend is always hanging out. On top of that, your brain is going a mile a minute worrying about every little thing that could possibly go wrong. You hop online with a question and suddenly you're looking at a 48-page Reddit thread full of grown men arguing about what the best brand of oil is for wet clutches. Instead of riding, you're terminally online. It can happen to the best of us. Motorcycles are supposed to do the opposite. They're a salve in today's world. The truth is, bikes really aren't all that complicated. Most things you're worrying about can be solved by A, reading the owner's manual, or B, just getting experience over time. You don't need to worry and obsess and expect to know every little thing all at once. So in today's video, in an attempt to preserve your sanity and maybe help you spend a little less time online, here's 7 motorcycle concerns you don't need to worry about. New riders are always overly concerned about what other people think of them, specifically other riders. For example, every time another rider doesn't wave back to them, they think, oh no, what did I do wrong? Did I break the biker code? Newsflash, there is no biker code. I saw this post on Reddit one time that etched itself into my memory. This fella made a post about how he was convinced that every other rider he passed was signaling to him because he was riding with his visor up. And he was like, it's been over 100 degrees, I've been riding around with my visor up, and every biker I pass signals me to remind me that my visor is up. What's the deal? Is OP schizophrenic? That is not a thing. No one cares if you have your visor up. That it's definitely some type of targeted individual type of thinking. The cold, hard, yet honestly liberating truth is that the only person on the road thinking about you is you. Everyone else is thinking about themselves or trying to avoid the self-driving cyber taxi merging into their lane. Motorcycling attracts independent, free thinkers. That means not everyone waves, not everyone rides the same type of bike or wears the same gear or brand or whatever, and who cares? There's no secret club with rituals and unique codes of conduct. Like I said, that's just a schizoid mentality. Riders just like riding and having fun, and yeah, we have some in-jokes, and yeah, we got a little bit of a culture going on in our own little community, but stop trying so hard to fit in or be accepted. Don't waste mental energy on hypothetical social interactions. Just ride your own ride, be cool and respectful, and the rest will fall into place. The internet would have you believe that Rev Matching is the single most important thing that a human can master. Go to any forum and you'll see dozens of threads from beginners like, how do I rev match? Why can't I rev match? How badly am I hurting my transmission by not rev matching? Relax, dudes. Rev matching is most useful when downshifting, blipping the throttle to match engine speed as you drop a gear. We've made quite a few videos discussing this in depth, so if you want to go and check them out, they're on my channel. Rev matching can make things smoother, and it looks and sounds pretty cool, but it's really not the be-all, end-all. Just let out the clutch smoothly and gradually while downshifting, and you're not going to lock up your rear tire. Also, a vast majority of modern motorcycles use a slipper clutch, which is going to absorb a lot of the shock from aggressive downshifting anyways. Slipper clutch doing the Lord's work there, grabbing our brake zones. Rev matching is not just a critical skill for everyday riding. You can literally ride for years without ever doing it consciously. Yeah, sure, rev matching is satisfying and it's nice when it clicks, but it's not something you need to be worried about if you're just putting around your neighborhood on an MT-03. Also, in another few years, every single bike's gonna come with a quick shifter and auto blipper system, so rev matching will be reserved for old-timers who still like doing things the old-fashioned analog way. I actually can't even remember the last time I was rev matching on road, because everything nowadays has an auto blip. I kind of miss it. There are as many nerds and dweebs riding motorcycles as there are collecting Digimon cards or modifying graphing calculators. And these nerds and dweebs are obsessed with the most esoteric lore. There are literally people who have memorized the valve clearance spec for every Suzuki sport bike since 1987. They'll speak in riddles like, Ah, yes, the 08 Gixxer 600 had a 0.2mm higher valve lift, resulting in 0.5 more horsepower at 11,000 RPM, but the 09 had a better throttle pulley ratio, so the torque curve is excellent. Dude, go outside. This can be hard for newer riders shopping for new bikes because it creates a super unrealistic benchmark for what you should even be looking for. If you're in the market for an intermediate sport bike, you don't need to be thinking about what has the most character or analog feel or what has the best torque curve at the best RPM and the best fueling and the best this and the best that. It's just, oh my God, it's too much. You just want something fun, reliable, and easy to live with. And yeah, some bikes are better than others, but honestly, they're all pretty good. Riders who actually spend their weekends riding don't waste time splitting hairs over the suspension spring rates or the buttery smooth throttle actuation. Just pick a bike that suits your needs and just ride the damn thing. Again, the truth is that nearly every modern motorcycle is excellent. They all stop, lean, and accelerate as well as most people realistically will ever need. Getting lost in the weed with insanely detailed spec sheet minutia is not going to benefit your riding experience in any way. Those details matter to people who post more online than they actually ride. And for those communities, it's sort of like a chicken and an egg thing where it's like, are they spec sheet warriors because they're motorcyclists, or are they motorcyclists because they're spec sheet warriors? In truth, they're all on the spectrum, so it's all fine anyways.
You know, we hear a lot here in America that Europeans just have the best of everything, and after sampling this Honda Hornet CB750, I can't help but agree. What other cool bikes they got over there that we don't get? Come on, this thing is amazing, and it's finally made its way here in North America, and it is a giveaway bike on YamiNoob.co. I was really pumped to get this machine. It features the 755cc parallel twin from Honda. It's a really fun, playful motor, and the best thing I can say about it is that it feels positively un-Honda-like. Head to the link down below on YamiNoob.co. Become a member today to join and get your chances locked and loaded, ready to win this Honda Hornet CB750.
Now, maintenance shouldn't cause anxiety. New riders love to post stuff like, oh, should I change my oil before or after winter storage? Should I use Astroglide to lube my chain? Or can I use WD-40 or the kitchen oil that my dad threw out the other day? Are valve clearance checks really necessary? And while it's great that you want to take care of your bike, that information is already written down clearly in your owner's manual. It's not something that needs to be debated, and you don't need to post a question to it on a YouTube video where someone may or may never answer. This is something kind of strange I've noticed where like early Gen Z and boomers actually behave the same online. Instead of boomers commenting on Facebook posts asking questions like and thinking it's Google, Gen Z kids like ask questions that the answer is like easily findable in the video they are currently watching. It's crazy. I feel like as a millennial, we're the last like tech literate and literate generation. Anyways, you don't need to be toiling over the ifs and whens of maintenance. It's all written out for you in the manual, clear as day. Every single thing you need to know. Oil type, oil quantity, service intervals, torque specs, it's all there in black and white. The engineers who designed your bike already figured all this out. You don't need to reverse engineer it through online forum consensus and trying to figure out if you can get away with using this oil or that oil. Just follow the damn book. No mental energy should be spent worrying about when or how to maintain your bike. Just follow the manual. That's it. It's super simple. Maintenance is a cut and dry process, not an existential mystery. If your bike says to change the oil every 4,000 miles, just change it every 4,000 miles. If it says to clean and lube the chain every 600, just do it. You don't need to take a poll from your peers, and also if you mess something up, motorcycles are incredibly forgiving from a maintenance perspective. Most maintenance mistakes won't ruin your bike, barring some extreme circumstances like running it with no oil, so don't worry about it too much. There's a tolerance and a window with which it can operate, and you'd be amazed how much it can do. I have ridden some crazy clapped out bikes that absolutely should not work, and somehow they do. If your bike won't start today, but it ran perfectly fine yesterday, it's the battery. It's always the damn battery. Don't take a video of you attempting to start it and post it online like, help, urgent, my bike won't start. In the time that it takes to write that post, you could have fixed it. Bikes have small batteries, and if the temperature drops right as they reach a certain point in their lifespan, voltage may fall just below the mark required to get your bike up and running. Don't assume it's some mysterious electrical fault or a bad rectifier. It's like 99% of the time the battery. Just bump start it, recharge it, or replace it outright. Problem solved. The internet makes troubleshooting motorcycle problems seem like it's rocket science sometimes. People will comment, "This happened to me once. My bike wouldn't start and I found out my engine dropped a valve and I had to buy a whole new crate engine." And then it'll have 500 upvotes and comments and all this sort of stuff. But that's not what happened to you. It's the battery. That's it. It's very simple most of the time. Low batteries can present a lot of different ways. For example, on my Ducati Scrambler that I used to have, when it had a low battery, it would key on and then you try to fire it up and it would just do this crazy clattery, clangy electrical sound. It was really awful. It made you think the bike was completely broken. It was just the battery. No biggie. There was also a time on my first Daytona I owned back in 2016 that the battery terminal itself just came a little loose and it did a lot of weird electrical stuff. All I had to do was tighten it and it never did anything ever again. It's the battery. All right, the next one. Don't be overly concerned with keeping your bike in flawless condition. If you buy a brand new machine, it feels sacred. You're out there detail spraying it every day, wiping it down, and spot cleaning every minor component. You got the ceramic coating, the microfiber towels, pH balanced soap, and even a special hose nozzle for optimized molecular dispersion. And then one day, you drop a wrench on your gas tank or you tip it over in your garage and suddenly your whole world collapses. Listen. Who cares? Motorcycles get used. They get dirty. They get blemishes. Old-timers say it's a tool, not a jewel. And if you can't see the imperfections while it's rolling down the road, I don't know, it doesn't really matter all that much. A little scuff or a chip in the paint just means you're using it the way it was meant to be used. If your bike is always completely spotless, you're a poser. I'm sorry. When caring for a motorcycle, you don't need some fancy regiment or boutique detailing products. Literally just 2 buckets, a sponge, and some soap that you get from the auto shop. It's not that crazy. Spending an exorbitant amount of time cleaning your bike is one thing. Spending even more time talking about how you clean your bike in extreme detail online is borderline blasphemous and anathema to how we enjoy motorcycling. If you have enough time to sit around and scrutinize every mark on your bike, you're not riding enough, and you probably need to get a goddamn job. All right, tires are important. We talk about that a lot here on the channel. There's no denying that. Age, tread depth, tire profile, the PSI, there's a lot of things that contribute to tires' effectiveness. And again, it's the only thing contacting the ground, so it's pretty darn important. But also, it's pretty cut and dry. If it's older than 5 years, replace them. Dry rotted, replace them. Past the wear markers, get new tires. Giant bolt sticking in the sidewall, get a new set. That's it. When in doubt, replace them. They're the only part of the bike that touches the ground. As I said, it's pretty much a non-negotiable. So I'm not sure why so many people spend time questioning whether their tires are still fit for use. Just get new tires. I understand that they're kind of expensive, but they're super important. And when it comes to tires, novice street riders really don't need to concern themselves all that much with nitty-gritty details. If you're riding a sporty bike on road, just get Road 6s. The end. That's the end of the story. You don't have to go in the weeds and get all further than that and say that, oh, you got to get this grip compound, it's got to do this, and you got to go this, because in the canyons, when it's 85 degrees, I get more grip with the Super Corsa SPs. Do just get Road 6s. If you're riding on road, do not worry about this. They're the gold standard for sport touring tires. They got good grip in dry and wet conditions, long lasting, just buy those. Michelin does not pay me to say that. I've just used them enough to know that they're the gold standard. If you ride on the street, you don't need to worry so much about tire profile and things like that. If your bike is frequently going to the track, it's a different story. But even then, it's really not. Just get a higher grade track spec, road tire. If you're not crushing like expert level lap times, you don't even need to worry about that. If you only ride on street and you're just a weekend normal rider, it's not going to improve your life to know so much about tires. There are many other things you can learn instead. You can learn to cook, you can learn to paint, learn about plants native to your state, birds that exist in your area, you could play the guitar. I don't know, there's a whole lot else in life, Bikes are just a small part of it. At the end of the day, being a new rider is swimming in a sea of unknowns, and it's easy to confuse research with anxiety. The secret people, for some reason, refuse to admit is that motorcycles are designed to be simple. They want to work. If you look in the manual, use a little common sense, and put in some seat time, most of the answers you're looking for will reveal themselves to you naturally. Time is truly the best teacher. So don't spend time on forums at 2 a.m. worrying about oil viscosity or why that guy on the Transalp didn't wave back to you while you were riding around in Austin. That was producer Logan. He doesn't wave. He's an asshole. Thanks so much for making it to the end of today's video. What do you guys think? Are riders too online? Are they looking for answers to problems that just don't exist, instead of just getting out there and figuring things out as they go along? Thanks so much for checking out today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later. Fact: the Great Pyramid is aligned with true north with only a 3/60th of a degree of error. That's kind of incredible. Goodbye.